Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Good morning. Welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Marlene Cuellar.
And I'm Gavin Courtney.
And thank you for joining us this morning.
It's an absolutely beautiful morning. Yeah, I saw the sunrise and everything was everything was nice and clear, lots of nice colors, and it was pretty breezy.
Okay.
Yep, so it's
Pretty sure it's going to get hot, though.
yeah, I know. But
Yeah.
look, anything is better than how it was last weekend, so I'm still pretty optimistic.
Well, we'll see what the forecasters tell you today, if that makes you feel a bit better. But you know what? You could definitely see the change in seasons. We don't have seasons in Belize. So much brighter, so much earlier. Summer months are about to come in, where we'll have our longer days.
And one of my favorite things to notice is the different flowers that are always in bloom this time of year.
Yeah.
You know, starting, we had Mayflowers, and now the yellow ones are starting to bloom. Well, there's several different names for that one. Like, people call it Cortez, people call it Pui, all kind of things. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That one. That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right, but of course there's a lot happening in the country as well. We do have, of course, some of the latest updates taking place with the ongoing situation of the proposed wage cuts and increment freeze from government. We saw the Nurses Association speaking out yesterday, saying that they do support the industrial action that's being proposed. BNTU has come to a decision. Really, really an interesting time to see what's going to happen.
Exactly. And no, it's definitely interesting from the perspective that it's been at the forefront of lots of conversations for the past few weeks. And it seems that there is really an impasse between the government and the, all different classes of public workers, public officers. And so we've got several different organizations, and I guess I can call them the joint unions, which are rejecting some of the government's proposals and stating that they're going to start industrial action soon. Mm-hmm. And you have one side with the government saying, well, there's just not enough money to meet what your demands are to avoid the pay cuts or what some of what they're suggesting, or they're saying that, well, if we don't pay cut, we're going to have to fire people. And then you have, on the other hand, the teachers saying, well, there are some different measures that you all need to look at first before you think to cut our salaries, because they're saying that their salaries are already low, and that even through a lot of in the
that
case
they
of
naturally make a lot of sacrifices already,
and that even through COVID, a lot of different workers still did have to work through the pandemic. So they're saying, well, so they shouldn't be affected, and government says, well, everybody has to be affected. So that there's this sort of back and forth has been going on for the past few months, and it's.
Well, I do think the statement by the Nursing Association is a game changer, and several reasons why. One, I think this situation has highlighted that all government employees are not under one umbrella, because the Nurses Association is separate. When you talk about people who work in security, they're separate as well, so that's your police, your BDF, your Coast Guard. But for me, I think there was a conversation that was ongoing publicly. And it was divisive. Some of it was along political lines, but some of it was along from the perspective, I should say, from people who work in private sector who say, well, I'm suffering a cut, so you should as well, as teachers and government workers. And then they started to highlight and, kind of nitpick of, teachers aren't physically in classrooms, public servants are inefficient, and, these kind of arguments that take place to somehow push forward their point. But when the Nurses Association came out, I started to see a change in how people responded. It was almost like, okay, well, teachers and public servants should get the cut, but nurses and police shouldn't, because they've been on the front line.
Seen that.
And that's why I said, for me, I think the Nurses Association coming out to say that they support industrial action and that they will not, they are not in agreement with the salary cut, is a very critical phase that we're in now. So it changes how people view the proposed salary cut, one, because of who it will impact. But two, if it does go to industrial action, let's just look at where we are. We already have a shortage of nurses. And this isn't unique to Belize. This is just not enough people going to the profession. We're not the one country who pays the best. So many people move to other countries.
Yeah.
So there's always been a nurse shortage. So nurses work longer hours, and they oftentimes have to do more shifts than would typically be allowed. If we ever see a situation, if we get to the point where they have a go slow or a sick out, can you imagine?
Yeah.
In the midst of a health crisis? So I think this really shakes up the conversation, and it really means that there has to be, it seems to me the government is saying they don't want to come back to the table. There was a bit of a change in messaging, you know, that this isn't a negotiation, this is a consultation. But with your nurses getting on board, there has to be some talks happening.
Yes, and you know, we did see sort of, I mean, it doesn't necessarily represent a huge shift in position. Of course, we did see that the government did say that they were suggesting a tiered approach to the cuts, and also that they were also looking at an annual review to see if the cuts that could be implemented, if there was any room for reduction or raises. But I think that one of the things that is very difficult for, you know, at least the government, is that we're dealing with, and then this is just part of the whole larger conversation, and it's of course being had, you know, being raised by the suggestions by the different unions, is that we are looking, you know, I think people, a lot of the message that I've heard from the joint unions is that, well, this is a new government, people wanted a change, and people are looking for meaningful systemic changes, and I think everybody sort of recognizes that what we've been doing for several years has not been working, and we have been running pretty much, I think everybody recognizes that the current setup, let's just call it that, you know, is unsustainable. And, you know, the pandemic just made that worse, and, you know, at the end of the day, you know, tax dollars pay for, you know, the salaries of public servants, and when we're looking at, you know, when we have a huge, you know, reduction in the amount of taxes our collecting, the government is saying, well, we don't have enough money to pay. And I think that one of the huge issues for the government, or challenges for them to overcome, is that because, you know, for so many years, successive administrations, we've seen scandals, we've seen corruptions, we've seen so and so. So when they come out with a message, people are naturally distrustful. So, so, you know, when you're saying,
which is why I find it, you know, because it does get lost in the conversation very often what the demands are from the unions. And the demands, you know, while we hear it as no to the salary cut, some of the union leaders have said it very clearly that this is a conditional no. This is a no if you don't do X, Y, and Z. And X, Y, and Z encompasses what I think, and I jokingly call them the confidence building measures, because there is a mistrust, and there's a mistrust in the system itself, because they have witnessed firsthand what typically takes place. So it is important. I mean, you know, you may get into a deal with someone, they're constant deal breakers, deal breakers, you're always facing the consequences. At some point you say, okay, we got to change the terms of this contract because it's no longer working, and you renege way too often. So that's kind of where it feels like it's at, that you need to be able to, that they're saying, show us on paper, show us in legislation, show us on policy that the mandate you were given is something that you take seriously, and they want it now. Now, you know, that's always debatable about whether it can happen immediately, whether it's effective to happen immediately, but that's what they're asking. So when we talk about the situation, I think we really kind of allowed that portion of the demands from the unions to slide, and it's a critical one. We've seen this country shut down, or the teachers specifically go on strike for similar causes, that they wanted to see meaningful change take place in moving us in the direction of better governance. And it seems that that's kind of where we are right now as well. So it is an absolutely interesting time. I'm hoping to see, we're going to get more details from what BNTU plans to do. And that should be revealed to us today. They finalized their meetings yesterday.
And I think, that's definitely going to be interesting, and it's going to be something that affects all of us, whichever course they choose to take. And I think that, one of the things that I also think about this issue is that, we hear from the government and we hear from, the joint unions, but one of the things, it's hard, I think, in this particular situation, is to gauge what the general public feels, because it's not as though there's any spokesperson that just can speak on behalf of everybody. And looking back, one of the things that government has been saying is that, well, we're trying to fix this economic situation. We're dealing with a huge unemployment crisis. We're trying to find ways to support different industries, and we're trying to revamp a lot of what was existing. So it's hard to gauge the level of public support for either position at this side. So on that note, to our viewers, please let us know what you think about this situation in the comments. We'd like to, of course, analyze and get feedback from people on their views on this situation, because it's something, whether or not the schools, whether or not the nurses go on strike, that's something that's going to affect the whole country. And we're hearing from the unions, we're hearing from the government, so let's hear from you.
Absolutely. And what I know people are also buzzing about this morning is the change in the new SI. I have gotten so many calls in the past few days. Do you know if they're going to keep the curfew? Do you know if they're going to keep the curfew? Well, we got the official word. The curfew continues.
Yep.
There is an adjustment in the time. That's a critical point here.
Yes. And so on Monday to, there we go. We're pulling
from
it up.
Sunday night, basically, or the start of Monday morning to Thursday, we maintain the same curfew.
It's the same 10 p.m. And for those days, which, namely Friday and Saturday, the curfew extends until midnight. And we also see something that's interesting is that casinos are allowed to operate again. And under the same new SI, there's a whole lot of different rules that any casino has to comply with in order to open. But, that's also going to be something, we haven't seen, casinos have been closed for a year now.
Almost,
And so that's significant in that I think
they did open for a little time when we did have a phased reopening last summer. But that was very short-lived because we had a spike immediately after.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the curfew for children, parents, of course, that continues as well. It is the same. It's 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. if they're going to be out on their own. And after 6 p.m., they must be with a guardian. So they can be with you if you are out till 10 or out until midnight on the days that those are allowed. But they can only be with a parent or guardian and not unaccompanied.
Yeah.
When you think of the social gatherings, funerals, weddings, whatnot, those are still at the same limitations. Those have not changed, and the bars and the discos or nightclubs, that's what we call them, those are still closed.
Yes, and I think that these sort of developments are somewhat encouraging based on the
What do you think?
figures.
Do you think someone made the point of saying that the existing SI, this one says something about public order or safety and public order in addition to health. I think the argument people have is that the curfew is being maintained for the purpose of safety versus for health concerns. Valid question, and I'm very sure it probably meets the objectives of both.
Yes.
But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that whenever people talk about curfews for, specifically crime, one of the first questions that people ask is that, well, what crime can be committed after, let's say 10 that can't happen before. And we've seen, especially recently, that there still has been especially, well, at least in Belize City, an issue with gang violence flaring up over the past few weeks. Even though perhaps this week hasn't, well, you know, so whether or not it's an effective tool, I think I don't think it's the best way because it doesn't really attack what are the root causes. It's sort of like a Band-Aid, and that's generally how I feel about, you know, curfews or limits.
Or state of emergency.
Yeah, exactly. Which is even more extreme, which I really don't like, actually. But I don't know. I think that it seems to me that the more significant feature of the curfew, at least I think, is because of COVID, because at least it restricts the amount of time that people can gather. So. Yeah, I think that's the main thing, but I don't really think that it's really a tool for maintaining public safety, because it doesn't really change anything. It just maybe restricts certain movement between certain times, and it doesn't really.
What it says is, for the purpose of preventing, controlling, and containing and suppressing the spread of the infectious disease COVID-19 and maintaining peace and public order. So you know. While I'm sure there are people who work within security or in that particular area who will say that we've seen less crime for many different reasons, we cannot and perhaps would be foolish to think that the curfew does not help to calm down a situation of crime, which we have seen spike many times when the gang issues start to flare up. The curfew, for me, when I see it, is really a part of exactly what you said. You know, you get together with your friends, people will, you know, whether it's in a house or whatnot, there should be limits to the number of people. There should be limits to the spacing that you have. There should be mask wearing, you know, remember there was the detailed description of pull down your mask, take your sip and bring it back up. Most of these things that, while that's what you're supposed to do, doesn't actually happen. So what it does is cut down your all-night partying and clearly the intoxication that comes with it, and the abandonment of the protocols that you know you have to do. At the very least, though, I will say this much. I appreciate that it's not just a sudden ending of the protocols. This is indicative to where we are. I think we're about 30,000, a bit over 30,000 maybe now, vaccinated persons. That's a mere less than 10% of our population. Pay attention to the COVID numbers. On Friday, we went into the weekend with, was it Friday? At one point, it was last week, we had 0 new cases. And now, you know, Monday we had 16, yesterday we had 9, and it's not a massive spike, but we're seeing more numbers than we were seeing. We were down to 0 and 4 and 3. We are not done with this pandemic yet, as much as we all want to be done with it. And even if you've been vaccinated, there's always the possibility that if you've had the first dose, there's always the possibility that you can still get it and you can still spread it. So it, for me, keeps us in that mode where we realize that this is not over. You know, reaching 0, as we did at one point in time in the past, is not the end. We've seen where it can come back. In fact, does come back, as we've seen in other countries right around us.
Exactly. And it's, you know, that's exactly what I was going to say just now, because I was going to say, just look at our neighbors, both in Central America and Mexico, and also in the Caribbean, and we see what's going on, and that, you know, countries, I think all around us have gone through moments where the COVID-19 numbers have gone all the way down, and people have sort of tried to relax, and then, you know, they open up, and the next thing you know, and it's as easy and it's simple as being caused by one event. You know, there can be one super spreader event, and that's it. Exactly. And then, you know, start seeing numbers, and then the hospitals fill up again, and that's what we definitely want to avoid.
All right, but we got to get moving into our show for today. So those are just some of the things that are buzzing right now, and you can look out for updates on those in our newscast tonight at 6. Moving into our motivation for today, let's get going with our eye-opener. And our eye-opener, taken from DailyOM.com, goes like this. Maintaining healthy boundaries is about recognizing the point at which our principles and those of our loved ones no longer overlap. As relationships evolve, lives gradually become entwined. We tend to have a great deal in common with people who attract us, and our regard for them compels us to trust their judgment. While our lives may seem to run together so smoothly that the line dividing them cannot be seen, we remain separate beings. To disregard these barriers is to sacrifice independence. It is our respect for the fact that our lives exist independently of the lives of others that allows us to set emotional and physical boundaries, to explore our interests and capabilities even when people close to us do not understand our partialities, and to agree to disagree. As you learn to define yourself as an emotionally and intellectually distinct individual, you will grow to appreciate your autonomy. The healthy barriers that tell you where you end and the people around you begin will give you the freedom to pursue your development apart from those whose approval you might otherwise be tempted to seek out.
Yeah, that's super interesting, and it's one that it's a message that I really think that is important for a lot of people to hear. You know, boundaries are very important to set because it's definitely one of the most important, I guess I can call it self-preservation, not techniques, but skills.
Yeah.
Because the opposite, or if you don't practice good, if you don't practice putting in place good boundaries, then you can take on, just, the burden of things, and it can be as simple as, agreeing to do things that you don't want to do, or...
That's exactly where it starts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or,
The minute you start saying, well, I should.
Yeah. Or
I
even...
don't really want to.
Yeah.
I don't really feel like it.
Exactly.
It doesn't make me happy,
Yeah.
but I should.
But then you go ahead and do it, and then you're miserable or whatever, and then that starts that whole pattern of self-sacrifice, and it can get really emotionally or mentally draining after a certain period of time, which is why you really have to be firm. And it first takes a little process of self-evaluation for you to decide what they are and to set them. But after you go through that exercise, then it's really important to maintain it. And I think that one area in which we see this manifesting a lot is in work. Allowing your work to spill into maybe your personal life, or maybe even doing things because you think you have to. Maybe you want to impress your boss. Maybe you want to. Sometimes it can be even driven by unhealthy things like competition with your coworkers.
Or
ego, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's where it is. So that's why I think the self-evaluation thing is first important, and think about what your motivations are and what you really want to accomplish.
See, I think the harder place is in families.
Yeah.
Because that's where it's really hard to let people down.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you think of how you grow up, we all develop a level of dependency with, especially close families. This is an assumption that you have close families. And, putting or instituting boundaries in families, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
The day you had to tell your mom or your dad, like, okay, I know this is what you want me to do or expect me to do, but I'm going to do this instead. That's the first time you're...
and then families can be toxic, in certain, and it can.
They can have unhealthy relationships.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even necessarily have to be, like a huge thing where it's like, a make or break, where you break a relationship, but it can just be certain aspects, like maybe, maybe you can get along with, this family member, maybe you just can't live with them, or maybe maybe you can't discuss one topic. And then you leave that alone, but set the boundaries for yourself, and perhaps you can have that peace.
It's such an important thing to do, and start with your own assessments behind your motives as to why you do things. But we got to keep things moving for this morning. We got our show to get into, and before we do, we have our weather update.
Yep, we do.
And so for today, the general situation is for seasonably fair and warm conditions prevailing.
And over the next 24 hours, we are expecting to see mostly sunny skies today. Tonight is going to be partly cloudy with little or no rainfall expected, except for the chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorms developing over inland and southern areas.
All right, our winds are going to be moving from the east at 5 to 15 knots, and that makes for a light chop in the sea state.
And for our temperatures, we are looking at highs today of 88 degrees along the coast, 97 inland, and 84 up in the hills. And tonight, the low temperatures we are expecting are 80 along the coast, 74 inland, and 68 degrees in the hills.
All right, and our outlook for Friday and Friday night is for similar weather conditions to prevail. We want to say a special thank you to Catherine Cumberbatch for preparing that update for us today.
Yeah, and we do want to remind you it is going to be hot, especially if you're inland, so do take all those precautions, avoid outdoor activity if you can, wear your SPF sunblock, and please stay hydrated.
And moving into our show for today, the other thing that started this week was back to school classes, face-to-face, that is. And today we are getting the perspective of the parents. We have a number of parents who are going to be joining us, and they're going to be talking about their decision-making process that they had on whether or not to send their kids back to school, why they decided to, why they decided not to, and what are some of the things they're experiencing and thinking of today.
And for our second conversation, we're going to be speaking about a virtual forensic science conference under the topic Bridging the Gap for the 21st Century. And we're going to be hearing from different representatives, including a toxicologist from Belize and a representative from the Caribbean Association of Forensic Science.
All right, and the final part of the show, we're going to be introducing you to ME Brand. It's a new line of clothing. And we're going to talk about how they're helping to promote Belize. That's coming up in the final part of our show. We're going to take a break, but before we do, we got a birthday shout out.
Yeah, and for today's shout out, we are wishing a very happy birthday to Josiah Julie Alvarez. And that greeting comes not only from here, from us at Open Your Eyes, but also from his grandmother, Julie Arzu, his brother, Jared Alvarez, and his entire family. So, Josiah, we hope you have a great birthday today. And we also want to wish a very happy birthday to Nicole Hamilton. So, Nicole, Josiah, happy birthday from all of us at Open Your Eyes on Channel 5, and we wish both of you many, many, many more. But, of course, with that said, we are going to be taking a short break, and when we come back, we are going to have our first conversation with parents. So please stay tuned, and we will be back after a very short break.
If we are only as strong as our families, businesses, institutions, and the communities that surround us, then by giving businesses the power to grow, entrepreneurs the ability to expand, and by giving our families the right to own something, the Belize Bank gives you the power to build a nation, our nation. Stronger together. The Belize Bank. Our country. Your bank.
Es un hecho que puedes obtener servicios ilimitados con Smart. ¿Cansado de que se corte la línea cuando más necesitas estar conectado? Es un hecho que cuando te suscribes al plan de Smart Plus, obtienes llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Y también es un hecho que te puedes suscribir con un grupo de 5 miembros al plan Smart Share y hasta 40 miembros al plan Smart Enterprise para llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Smart tiene los verdaderos planes ilimitados. Es un hecho. Sé Smart y vive de forma Smart.
Why, Tony?
Why, Keith, what are you going on, man?
But actually can see we can need to buy a stack of them plastic plates and cups from the grocery shop because they run low.
Boy, I stopped importing that thing since April 15th, you know. And I just ran out of the last batch, must have been like 3 weeks back, you know.
Man, do I usually have anything? What is going on?
Check this, right? Under the new law, we ban all single-use plastics, so that the cups, plates, forks, spoons, and knives, all of that. Since April 15th, can't import none of them. Starting January 15, 2021, you can't manufacture them. April 15, 2021, you can't sell them. And after July 14, 2021, if you get catch with any other thing, you will get fined.
Me never know this. I guess I have to make some changes then. I have to make the customers know that anything not available. Anyways, bro. Thanks, man.
No problem, man. Take care.
Hello, Belize. You may not be aware of the new travel requirements set in place by the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Passengers traveling to the U.S. must present a negative COVID test or a documentation of having recovered from COVID-19 to travel to the U.S. In light of this, Maya, in partnership with Caring Hands Clinic, have established testing centers in all their municipal airports. Caring Hands Antigen Test Center is operational in San Pedro, Belize City, Dangriga, Placencia, and Hopkins. These testing facilities are staffed by licensed healthcare professionals, including doctors, registered nurses, and nurse practitioners. Testing is done using Abbott Rapid Test devices that are FDA approved and made in the USA. The service is safe, fast, affordable, and the close proximity of the centers makes them convenient. Walk-ins are welcomed, but appointments are encouraged. If you would like to make an appointment, please feel free to do so at Make your appointment, get tested, and in 15 minutes, you can get back to your vacation.
Today's COVID update is brought to you by Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
And we are just getting our first conversation started for this morning. And as we said a little bit before the break, our first conversation is going to be with parents, and we're going to be discussing the phased reopening of schools, as we saw this week that some schools have reopened for face-to-face learning. And we're going to get the reaction from some of the parents, because we've heard from the government, we've heard from the teachers, but now we get to hear from the actual parents of some of these children who are returning. So joining us via Zoom this morning, we have Cynthia Turner-Rayburn, who is the parent of a primary school student. We also have Primily Adolphus, who is another parent of a primary school student. We have Carla Garcia, who is a preschool student parent, along with Melissa Pop, who is also who also has a child in preschool. Ladies, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Right. Thank you for joining us. We definitely appreciate this, and we would definitely want to hear your voices in relation to this matter, because of course you are directly affected by whatever happens at the schools. But I think before we start talking right about the reopening of school, why don't we talk about what this past year has been like, and what the experience, with at-home learning, electronic learning has been for you as parents of very young children. So anybody can start.
I'll start then.
Sure.
The past year has been kind of a whirlwind for me. I have only one child that I'm doing the online schooling with. He's in standard 2 at World Redeemer School. And for the most part, I would say the work started in maybe September of last year, if I recall correctly. And the blunt of the work really felt like it fell on the parent because there was just so much work to do. Of course, they started off with just kind of getting them refamiliar with the material, try to transition them back into that classroom mindset. And it worked for the most part. I've had to sit with my child every day. We use a Google Classroom platform, and how the teachers usually do it is they would send maybe YouTube videos. There's a few of them who send pre-recorded lectures, and they try to make it very interesting, and they would upload all of that to Google Classroom. We also have a learning package that we get about once a month, and they would send the material to practice, to assess them based on the notes and all the videos, just all of the course material that they had sent before. We started off in submitting work every week, and then parents in our group chat, in our WhatsApp group chat, started to not really complain, but they voiced their concerns about the large workload for the students and the parents having to do a lot of that work and being able to supervise them. And from that point, that kind of became like a springboard for them to revisit that 1 week, and then it became extended to 2 weeks that we have to help them to hand in the work. As for the experience overall, I would say that this particular school has been really helpful in that they have maintained that the students keep up academically. But if I had to say their mental capacity, I would say it has been a little bit overwhelming for them. And of course, not seeing their friends for a whole year now. So that has been my experience so far.
Thank you, Cynthia. And what about you, Carla?
Hi, good morning. Well, my experience from last year was kind of difficult because my baby, he's 4 years old.
Yeah.
And the videos and stuff that the teachers send on, on the internet, was not working for him. He doesn't want to see those videos. He wants to see his own videos. And he doesn't pay that attention to them like he would pay attention in school, in a class. And then he was too comfortable here at home with me that he didn't really learn the way he should learn. So that's why I am very glad that school opened. I know some parents have positive and negative about it, but I mean, in this situation that we are in, it's very difficult. I mean, yes, you protect your kids from school, but sometimes you go out, party, do stuff, and you still could get the COVID-19, right? So I think it's very good for the kids, especially my baby, his age, to him to interact with other kids, to be more active in the school area. So I think the experience was not, yes, the teachers did a good job, but like how the parent just speak and so say that the videos, the YouTube videos, those things, he didn't want to see that. He know how to use YouTube, so he know those videos are not his videos. He wants to see other videos, so he gets comfortable Mom, I don't want that. Mom, I want
Oh my gosh.
Ryan, other
That's,
stuff.
that's heavy competition for the teachers. Their video versus all the other ones on YouTube. Let's let's hear from you, Permily.
My daughter Brooklyn, my experience with this COVID and the online teaching is that she find it very difficult. But bring my home house, he helps her and show her how to get online, and from there she just start doing her own stuff by herself. And what I noticed is that the Lake Independence teacher, what they did is that they have them interact with different games, and that made them want to be able to be online every day. So the teacher told them at first they will do it only one day, and then the following week they start doing it 2 days for the week. But her experience with this online thing is very, very, very good.
Oh wow, that's good to hear. And what about you, Melissa?
She loves school.
She loves school, and so you saw that even when it was online.
School. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Brooklyn loves school. Even up to now, she loves school.
Okay. And Melissa, tell us what the past year has been like.
Good morning. Well, it has been a good experience because my kid go to Wesley College, Wesley Preschool, and she's 4 years old. I've been receiving packages whereby her dad would normally go for the packages, and we make sure, even after working hours, we tend to spend some time with her getting those assessments completed, while we also had, I think, at least 2 or 3 months of online classes, where it started from Monday through Thursdays. And normally on Fridays, the Wesley teacher, the head of the preschool teachers, normally reach out on Friday to test their knowledge, what they have learned for the past few days within the week. And it has been tremendously working very well. And she would always ask, when are we going to have another online classes? So she's always excited for those classes. I have received her assessment, and she has been doing quite very well. A lot of improvement had been got improved into different areas. Even though she does not get the time to socialize with friends, I mainly have she has cousins that she goes to visit at times or go to park and so forth. So I know the socializing is not there, but somehow she gets to call people or call individuals, her cousins, especially on messengers, talking, having their own conversation. So the playing is sort of pulled off there, but the learning opportunities is still there. So I would say online classes has been very good. Wesley has given enough support, and we as parents for Naira have been very supportive, and she has been learning quite very well.
You know, and I'm so happy that we have your perspectives, because there is no parent association or someone who can share what it was like from the parents, and each one of you have different experiences, and each one of your children are different. How did you feel when you found out that face-to-face was going to start again? Did you, like for you, Carla, you said you knew you were happy because you knew your child was not necessarily, they didn't like the videos, they wanted to go to their regular one. But what was your first reaction when you found out, okay, it may happen?
Yeah, well, I say it may happen, and I was a little scared, yes, but then the teacher sent us the regulations and how everything was going to be. She said there were only 15 students in the class, and not all of them will go because some of the parents didn't agree of face-to-face, so it will be less. And then the regulations that the parents they don't permit the parents to go in the compound. When you care kids, you leave them on the gate, and the teachers carry them inside their classroom. So I see they were getting prepared very well to prevent any virus, from the kids. So I was happy about it. Yeah.
All right. And the other parents, how did you feel when you found out? Did you have to think about whether or not you wanted to send them back, or it was an automatic no?
Well, for me, at first, I find it kind of concerning because due to this COVID, we don't know exactly what will happen in the classroom, right? Until September for school to be open.
So for you, you were immediately concerned?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you talk with Brooklyn about it?
Yes, ma'am.
What did she say?
She didn't agree to go back as yet. She preferred waited until September.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
How much do you think it's because she's still enjoying learning?
She's scared.
Oh, she's scared. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Melissa, tell us about your decision.
My decision to it is that probably it's like more of like a 50-50, because I would say that if it works out within the first 1 month or 2 months, then I would go ahead and have her. But at the moment, my questions are, will my kid get infected there, or will she get contact for COVID-19, or do we have family members that have underlying conditions such as diabetes, such as pulmonary hypertension? What if my child gets in contact with someone that have it at school and bring it in within the family, whereby they tend to pass it to the person? So I would say that as of now, she's not going to return, which I did spoke to the teacher about it. And she's pretty excited of going back to school. She says she misses her teacher, her friends, her classmates. She was asking for a few, how are they doing and what's not. So I did sort of convince her and tell her, well, it's really not safe to be out there, because I do not get to take her out as much, like doing shopping with her and what's not. So it's pretty much like I'll be roaming around by myself. Would practically pick her up at the babysitter, from babysitter to home. So
okay,
other than going once a while at the park, is pretty much that's it for her. But she has spaces where the way I trying to let her know that it's not always at school. Some situations, at times, you're gonna have to find yourself very uncomfortable with, which you don't have an option with. So getting stuff for her, kind of telling her, okay, see that this is the result, or this is what is going on, and mommy wants best for you. And at the moment, I'm sorry, but you won't be able to go back to school until it's probably all clear, or until September.
Okay.
You're gonna get the chance to go back to school.
So you think maybe by September you'll be comfortable. Permanently said the same. Carla has allowed her son to go back because she has found out all the regulations, and it's a smaller class, so she feels safer with that. Cynthia, tell us about your experience.
Well, my stance on it, I would say it's also a 50-50. When I saw the press release, my mind immediately went on my son, AJ. After that, I immediately contacted his teacher, and he basically said, we're not sure as yet, but as soon as we find out what our school is going to do, we will let you know. And he did, and I believe they have applied for the May phased in. So I would prefer that my son goes September.
Yeah.
The school actually sent us a survey, asking us very important questions. And in mine, I just explained that I just don't feel that my son is psychologically ready. I don't feel that. But interesting enough, he said he's excited to go back. He wants to go. He thinks he's going to have fun. And I want to take that into consideration, but if I had a choice of not going back in May, I would say no. I would say to wait a little later on, maybe until September, because the school year is almost finished, and I'm concerned about how my son would retransition back into face-to-face, having doing the online for so long. I just feel like we have a certain rhythm already, and I wouldn't want to interfere with that right now. So I would prefer September, but if it says May, we have to go back, then I'm going to send him with some precautions, of course.
Cynthia, help me understand. So you're saying your primary driver for your decision is that your distance learning is working. What you have with your school and your son, it works. That's the main reason behind your decision?
Yes, that is. Of course, I am worried about his safety as well, but I just don't think it is the best choice right now, almost at the end of the school year. And yes, I have had to supervise him probably more than a teacher would inside the classroom, but I just don't feel that it's going to be beneficial for him right now.
Yeah.
So that is my stance on it.
So you were consulted as a parent. The other parents, did you also get surveys or consultations with the school to decide whether or not they'd reopen?
Yes.
Yes.
On my end, yeah. Wesley submitted some of a link that you have to click where you do an online survey, and I was able to fill out mine as well.
And what did
what I've listed to them is that it would have been good if we go ahead and follow those preventative measures, making sure that the students or the preschoolers especially do follow those. But what is my main concern is we tend to teach our babies that sharing is good. Sharing is sharing is caring.
Yeah.
And teaching them the opposite of it at the moment, and it's not something that we're wanting them to do, but it's what COVID has asked us to do to have preventative measures. Because if I go ahead and give her half of an apple, she's definitely going to share it with one of her favorite friends. And I'm not saying that she's going to have it, but more likely if she's going to be able to get it, then of course the contact has been made there.
Yeah.
So it kind of pulled us back to teach what they have been taught before and something that we want to implement because of COVID-19.
That's such an interesting perspective. Yeah, thank you for saying that. And for Primly and Carla, tell us about what the parents said at your school.
Excuse me, your question again?
I was saying that the school asked you whether or not you'd be willing, whether they asked the parents whether they wanted to have the children go back. What were the results of that survey?
Well, like I told you, online classes, there were only 15 students. And then we went down to less. So not all of the parents were
how many children?
New regulation.
How many children went back to his class?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not really sure because, like I told you before, when I drop my baby at preschool, I'm not able to go to the compound. You know, and I know the teachers are doing a lot to prevent what Melissa just said about sharing and that stuff, because they ask us to carry toys for them, for them just to play those toys, their own snacks, their own everything apart, and they keep them apart and they try to keep them sit on their chair, not them to go all around, and they are trying their best, you know. I understand the other parents because, you know, maybe their class, the students are more, but I feel comfortable with my one because there are less students. It's not much, you know, kids around my baby. That's what I feel.
And you, Primly, what was the reaction among parents at your child's school?
Okay, we have a group chat that we use, and most of the parents were asking if the school was going to open face-to-face. But in the group chat, we got a message from the management saying that we're not in a position to reopen school face-to-face for education. St. Luke will continue the learning, open learning distance.
Okay, yeah. And what was the reaction from the parents with that?
Most of the parents did agree and said, well, okay.
Yeah. So you said that you are sure, even if they try to open in May, you don't want Brooklyn to go back until September.
Well, if I have to, I have to, right?
I understand that. But
to,
just help us understand why that's the best decision for you. Because every parent has to make this own choice for themselves, and nobody.
To be honest, you just can't think about yourself. You have other parents in school who have more than one child, right? And then some of them had lost their jobs, right? And then some of them said that in the chat that they're not ready. So, vice versa.
So that's an important point there, Primly. Tell us a bit more. You feel that the financial burden that some other parents may be facing, it's only fair that it waits?
Yes, ma'am. Some of them don't have a job, right? I mean, me picking up my daughter at school before this COVID, you notice that there are several parents who, they come to school and then they bring 1 food, 2 food, 3 food. They don't have a job. And then for you to send your child or your children at school, right now in this pandemic, it's like, it's kind of straining on your mind as well.
Yeah. I do appreciate that perspective. That's one that we really don't think about. What are some of the other things that you hear? I mean, these parent chat groups I hear can blow up 24/7. That's what I hear from other parents as well. So, but it's great that you have that level of communication directly with your teachers. Tell us about some of the other things that the parents is saying about why they choose to go back to school or why they choose not to go back to school.
Well, in the chat group, in our chat group at Lake Independence, the chat group that we use, the parents, they don't really express their concerns on the chat group. Maybe they do it otherwise, but not in the chat group.
Okay. And for the rest of you, Cynthia?
In our chat group, it's the same. I noticed that parents are more concerned about the work. Every time we do communicate, it's okay, well, teacher, we saw this work and this work. So parents seem to be eager to just get their child's work done. As it relates to how they feel, there's no conversation. I noticed the teacher would send like some documents about hand washing and so forth. And I'm not sure if it's just me, but I don't see many parents concerned, like they would respond and say, okay, well, I am glad that you're sending this. I don't feel that the parents are very concerned, but on a personal level or for conversations I've had with them, I've had some parents say that my child gained some weight, my child won't be able to fit in their uniforms, or just minor things like that, or I live very far, like maybe Rancho Dolores, and they have to figure out how they are going to safely transport their child on a public transportation like a bus, and they're concerned about that aspect, having to take their child now, or there are some children also who have to take the bus on their own because maybe their parents go to work very early in the morning. So these are just some of the concerns that they have had, that I particularly don't have any of these issues, but I can empathize with them. So I think that those are some of the rationale behind some of them saying that we don't want to send our children.
Okay. Anything different from you, Melissa?
No, just that what my previous parent there said, if it's up to if the teacher said that everybody has to resume September, I have no choice. But for the time being that it is up to me to either send her or not, I'm not going to send her. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that assessments are being picked up and that she's learning. I am very supportive. Whenever she has classes, I make sure to dedicate that 30 to 45 minute session particular for her so that I could guide her and let her know that you get to learn. It's just basically at school, just that it is screen or virtual instead of being in a physical class. And she understands because even the teachers allow them to, if you have any questions, you just don't talk out of turn. You raise your hand, and once I appoint or call your name, you can go ahead and you go ahead. And they normally gain some points if they raise their hand in answering questions or volunteering to answer a question. They gain points. So I would say Wesley, kudos to Wesley. Wesley has been doing an awesome job. And if that is what we continue to have, either virtual classes or just assessment being sent to them, either way, I'm gonna have to keep her home. And then I'm going to go ahead and partially be like a 50% teacher for her to go ahead and complete those assessments.
Yeah. All right. And Carla, of course, you have a different perspective. Tell us what it's been like since your son went back to school. You're only 3 days in, right?
Yeah, only 3 days, yes.
Yeah.
Well, he's very happy, very excited in the morning when I tell him, let's get ready for school. He's preparing his stuff. He gets his own toys that he will care. He's very excited to go. I understand the other parents. Yes. I know their situations and so, but I mean, with me, it's different. Like I told you, it's not a lot of students getting together in a class, and I see how the teachers are preparing and doing better for them not to be in contact too much, you know. He's very excited and happy to go.
All right. Well, we are so grateful that all of you decided to share your story with us. We did want to ensure that we get the parents' view on returning to school and what this process has been like. So thank you for letting us know what it has been like for you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
And with that,
thank you.
And continue to stay safe, you and the little ones.
Definitely.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We heard it from the ministry, we heard from the teachers, and now we've heard from parents. Clearly, this is still something where there's not one resounding or one clear solution to, and we can even hear it in that conversation there as well.
Yeah, for sure. There's no one-size-fits-all
Exactly.
approach, and that's from school to school, child to child, and parent to parent. So it's interesting to get all of the different perspectives, and it's very important as well.
Yeah. And you know me, I'm always looking for a silver lining. Look at this, parents collaborating directly with teachers, the empathy that you hear from other parents that, yes, I'm working, other people may not be working, the check-ins that all the protocols are there to be safe, the time they spent with their children. This pandemic has been tough, but there have been some good spots, some shining spots, and I think these are some of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, but we got to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be focusing on forensic science, a virtual forensic science conference, and we'll hear from one Belizean toxicologist and from a regional representative about the state of forensic science in the region. So please stay tuned.
This COVID update was brought to you by Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service. Working off-site doesn't mean you have to be off your game. Studies have shown that simply adding a keyboard and mouse to your laptop increases productivity by 26%. Add a monitor and you'll be 35% more productive. At Fulltech Systems, we have what you need to enhance your remote work or e-learning experience. With devices such as headsets, video conferencing monitors, webcams, keyboards, mice, docking stations, all with the brands you trust. Keep connected with collaboration tools like Microsoft 365 Suite and Kaspersky and perform efficiently no matter where you are. Voltec Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Hello? Okay, sure, I'll be there.
Hi, Mommy. When are you coming home? I really miss you.
Hearing the voice of our loved ones can always lift our spirits and make us feel whole again. With Smart's twice as nice promotion, prepaid customers who make 5 minutes worth of national calls on Sundays can enjoy 50% off. Top double on all national calls for the rest of the day. Call your loved ones and enjoy half off all day long. Smart, bringing people together.
2020 taught us the importance of being connected to the virtual world, and NextGen is here to keep its commitment to you. Even if you're physically apart, NextGen keeps you digitally connected.
Okay everyone, thank you for following me today.
NextGen provides more than just an internet plan. They provide service plans that support all your online needs. Sign up today and get your NextGen's ultra high-speed internet service. NextGen, powered by Central TV and Internet.
In these challenging times, the one thing that is certain is that the Belize Bank Limited is here for you. There is nothing more important than your health and safety, and we continue to make every effort to make banking safer for you. Our staff is working around the clock to make sure you can do your banking conveniently 24/7 using our mobile banking app and online banking and keeping ATMs up and running. We value your relationship with us and are here to provide the support you need. First responders are also out there 24/7. Thank you, healthcare workers, security forces, firefighters, caregivers. You are all appreciated. Stay safe. We will get through this together. The Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
Why, Tony?
Why, kid, where you going, man?
I'm actually going to see you because I need to buy a stack of them plastic plates and cups for my grocery shop because I run low.
Boy, I stopped importing that thing since April 15th, you know. And I just routed the last batch, must be about like 3 weeks back, you know.
Man, do I usually have anything? What is going on?
Check this, right? Under the new law, we ban all single-use plastics, so that the cups, plates, forks, spoons, and knives, all of that. Since April 15th, can't import none of them. Starting January 15, 2021, you can't manufacture them. April 15, 2021, you can't sell them. And after July 14, 2021, if you get catch with any other thing, you will get fined.
Me never know this. I guess I have to make some changes then. I have to make the customers know that anything not available. Anyways, bro. Thanks, man.
No problem, man. Take care.
Hello, Belize. You may not be aware of the new travel requirements set in place by the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Passengers traveling to the U.S. must present a negative COVID test or a documentation of having recovered from COVID-19 to travel to the U.S. In light of this, Maya, in partnership with Caring Hands Clinic, have established testing centers in all their municipal airports. Caring Hands Antigen Test Center is operational in San Pedro, Belize City, Dangriga, Placencia, and Hopkins. These testing facilities are staffed by licensed healthcare professionals, including doctors, registered nurses, and nurse practitioners. Testing is done using Abbott rapid test devices that are FDA approved and made in the USA. The service is safe, fast, affordable, and the close proximity of the centers makes them convenient. Walk-ins are welcomed, but appointments are encouraged. If you would like to make an appointment, please feel free to do so at
Make your appointment, get tested, and in 15 minutes, you can get back to your vacation.
And we're back. And if you're joining us right now, we're just getting our second conversation for this morning started. And we're shifting gears and we are talking all about forensic science. And to discuss that this morning, we've got Rochelle Cabral, who is a toxicologist, and we also have with us Gregory J. Williams, who is the president of the Caribbean Association of Forensic Science. And we're going to be speaking all about a virtual forensic science conference with the topic Bridging the Gap for the 21st Century. And we're going to learn all about that. So Rochelle and Gregory, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Bellies.
All right. Well, it's great to have you on our show this morning. And why don't we start off by talking a little bit about the association itself, Caribbean Association of Forensic Science. How long has the association been around, and what are some of the main goals and objectives that it tries to accomplish?
Oh, well, good. The Forensic Science Association, it was formed actually by myself and Dr. Walker, Alfredo Walker. That's way in 2012, but it really come to fruition, I would say, roughly about 2015, 2016, when we had our first inaugural conference at the University of the West Indies.
Okay.
But this way, we saw the need to build this association because of the lack of forensic support in the Caribbean region. You know, and we have a limitation in the region, so we had to find a way, you know, to bring everybody together so our experts in the region can have a voice. Yeah. You know, so we look at it here as an educational platform where all the scientists can gain knowledge, even the upcoming forensic expert can gain knowledge, our police officers, our nurses, doctors, you know, so we saw a need for it, so we actually blend it also with the medical legal form also, so we can have a collaborative effort. So that's some of the main areas why we actually put the CAFs together, the Forensic Association.
Let's talk about who are members of this group. Is it only forensic scientists?
No, not actually, you know. We have lay persons who just, you know, interested in the forensic science and want to be a part, want to know what's going on, you know, because of the way crime occurs today. You know, most people, they just want to know what happens. You know, so you might be in a totally different field, but have the interest. So you comes in and be a part also of it. So it's not only for forensic scientists only. No, we take people from other professions also.
Okay. And let's bring it over to Rochelle. Rochelle, you are Belize's forensic toxicologist. This is a very specialized skill that you have acquired. Tell us a bit about why you had that interest and what it feels like to have been the first in Belize.
Well, Marlene, we've had history. I've done science between school, so I have been a science junkie. I've been a science junkie all my life. I started working at the forensic lab in 2013, and while I was there, I realized that there is a gap in what we can provide in terms of justice in Belize. So I decided to specialize in toxicology. That is a specialized area where I not only work with living people, but I also am an integral part of postmortem examinations.
Okay.
Every postmortem examination, or I should say most of them, requires a toxicology analysis. And I realized that our country didn't have somebody that was specialized in that area. So I decided to go to UWI in Jamaica. And that's where I met Gregory. He was one of my lecturers, along with the other co-founder, Dr. Walker. They both were lecturers in my forensic science courses that I did a couple years ago.
Okay. Now, yeah, that's a long way away from chemistry in high school, Rochelle. I got to say that much. It's so detailed. So talk about, where we are today. We'll talk with Belize and the region when it comes to capacity in forensics, because I'll generalize. I feel like everyone watches CSI and everyone watches all these crime shows, so we feel like there's this advanced technology, but how much of it is actually accessible to us here in Belize and in the region? Let's start with Belize.
So I'll let Rochelle go first with Belize.
Yeah. Tell us about the Belize context.
Actually, we are very advanced. That's one of the misconceptions of what people have in Belize. We have one of the top of the line equipment in terms of ballistics and IBIS when it comes to gun related crimes. And actually, all of our machines, especially the ones that I use, are gold standards that are internationally accepted. So all of the work that we do are internationally accepted methods with machine that can confirm the presence or absence of substances. So we're pretty advanced. Currently we have 4 sections. Serology, which is also with DNA, ballistics, chemistry, and the unit that I was recently formed as a result of my studies, toxicology. So we have a lot of things that has been happening. And actually with the new government and our new minister, I know that he has committed to expanding our scope of analysis to not only include those 4 technical aspects, but to also improve on what we can do so far for forensics. One of our biggest recent achievements was with that Mason case.
Yes.
With that Mason.
Yeah.
That was one of our pivotal moments where you can see forensics actually came together, and we were successfully, integral in proving someone's guilt in a crime.
Yeah, because it is. And so let me just, let's get to the Caribbean, because that provoked a thought there. But I told you the CSI nerd would come out,
All right, so let me say for the Caribbean now, and this is our team for the conference. If we always say forensic science for the Caribbean, our forensic science in the Caribbean, bridging the gap for the 21st century. And that's where we realize, as we say, as we shall give a good account of Belize, but not all the Caribbean countries have the ability to host a forensic lab. And this is some of the, for example, the small islands. Like in Antigua Barbuda, we still don't have a forensic lab. In St. Vincent, there's none. Let me say in Grenada, there's no forensic lab either. So you can actually count on your fingers the amount of countries in the region that have a forensic lab. Also Anguilla, they don't have a forensic lab, but they have little sections. And what we do now is the police forces carry the bulk of the weight in those regions, those small islands. And forensic science is vastly improving, just the same as crime. And to build the synergies around the region, around the Caribbean is better. For example, if Rochelle didn't say that, we would not have known what Belize have. So this is why we need to come together as one Caribbean. So if we need some expertise from Belize, we should be able to call on somebody in Belize and say, listen, we need a forensic toxicologist in Antigua, or we need one in St. Vincent, or we need one in Jamaica, etc. But this don't happen. So this is why the CAFS conference again, or the CAFS Association was born. so we can build an export list so we can keep spreading and knowing what is available in our region, and how we can help the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
So that's what we really pushing and looking forward to, where we can actually have some success.
The work of forensics, though, is very much tied to policy and legislation, because you can only work with samples that are collected or samples that must be collected as well. I'm thinking directly for you, Rochelle, and you can definitely weigh in on it there. If you don't get, let's say there's an accident, some of the samples are voluntarily provided. That's a very simple one. But having technology and expertise is one part, but there also has to be the systems in place to complement. How are we doing in that angle?
In terms of our current legislation, that we don't force people to provide samples. You've heard in the news of people refusing to give samples. But we can only do what we can. So one of the hopes that the director of the Forensic Lab is doing actually is he's going over current legislation to update them and to include all of these loopholes that we know exist. So that's one of the things that we need to work on in Belize. We have archaic laws that were not well suited for current times and all the needs. So we're in the process of amending legislation that will help us to better get all the evidence that we need. Yeah. In terms of post-mortem examinations, most of the times I get all the samples that I need because we have well-equipped medical examiners that are able to know what samples to get and to send to the forensic lab. So we're working on it. The legislation is in making to get amended still.
Yeah. Yeah, Gregory? Is that a common problem?
Yes. And, it is it's been a serious problem around the region for quite a while now. But in Jamaica here now, they actually have laws in place now to deal with that. In Antigua, we also set up laws that will actually deal with electronic evidence, etc. also. And a DNA bill was passed in Jamaica. I can't remember the year now, but not so long ago. So some countries already getting in line with that because it's needed. Because you don't want to have to go to beg a suspect or a prisoner for a sample.
Yeah.
You want to know that something is in place, that when that person commits a crime, you can actually get that sample and legislation in place to actually get that sample without any fuss. Even though they refuse, once the court order it, you can take it. Once it's an order from the court.
Yeah.
So this is what you want those things in place in order for justice to be done and just seeing justice is served. Yeah.
And even
so it's not. Go ahead.
And I was thinking of things like DNA exonerations that we've heard of in the U.S. when the capacity became available and also the legislation allowed for it. So these are things that I'm sure is anywhere in the Caribbean. You noted Jamaica. Are they up to par with that?
Yes, Jamaica have the legislation in place now.
Okay.
I think Barbados had it also too. But Jamaica have a full legislation in place. They're actually now building the database, the DNA database. Actually, that is up and upstream now running. So they are good on that front of it. I can say they're maybe in front of everybody else with the large database that they have at the moment at their disposal. But some of the small islands, as I said, they don't share that same sentiments because, it's a difficult situation. And I said funding, and some governments, you have to depend on funding. As I always tell people, in the forensic world, the government can't do everything. There's something you call funding, maybe other private institutions or other agencies from overseas may fund, the forensic labs that fund the government to help build certain things that is missing.
Yeah.
And I imagine that is one of the things that makes regional sort of cooperation and knowledge sharing so important, so that everybody can sort of get to the same level. And I think that brings us kind of to the topic of the association and this year's conference. why don't we talk a little bit about the history of the forensic science conferences, and we can get into this year's one as well.
Right. So if we're going to go to now in the history, let me say our first inaugural conference took place at the University of the West Indies. That's in 2016 of July. We had it for actually run for 3 days, you know, and we realized that the thirst, we had to quench the country's thirst with the forensic knowledge.
Yeah.
Because not only the forensic personnel was thirsty for it, but also the civilians. When I say civilians, the lay persons that is not into forensics but may have lost a loved one by the way of crime, you know, and they wanted to know what is there, how justice can be done. So that conference for us was a plus for the Caribbean, the first in the Caribbean, and we are the only forensic science association within the Caribbean. And the support we have got from the different countries, it's tremendous, because we mostly in all countries, we reach out to all governments. And what we do, each time the conference comes up, we send invitation to all the government agencies, the police forces, the forensic labs. You know, we try to send it all over, because we really want to bridge that gap. We send it to the High Court, we make a cooperation with CARICOM. You know, we want everybody to be a part of it. You know, as I always make mention, as I said, you know, just as the Bar Association around the region and the link, you know, we need that for forensic science, because, I mean, persons don't speak nowadays of a crime. You have to use the forensic knowledge and the abilities to find those evidence now. And with proper training, proper education, you know, that's where the whole Caribbean can come together and work with one collaborative effort. So this is what we're fighting, this is what we're pushing, and then now our virtual conference. This is our first virtual conference, actually. So it's another stepping stone for us, you know, hosting a conference virtually. We have never done it before, so we're giving it a go and see how it is for us. But it's really needed in our Caribbean system, in our justice system, you know. Forensic science have a place in the Caribbean, and we're looking forward to get the governments, everybody more involved into forensic science. Because even when the attorneys go to court, you know, they depend on we as the expert to give them that final niche on that case. Yeah. So leaving out the forensic scientists from the criminal justice system is not something that you can work with now going forward. So CAFS, the Caribbean Association of Forensic Science, is here to educate, you know, pass on the knowledge, you know, bring synergies, build a bond between the Caribbean people, the Caribbean countries. You know, look, we have Rochelle in Belize. You know, if it wasn't for that forensic program also, which is part of the Caribbean Association of Forensic Sciences, was really born after also, you know, that brings all the synergies together. So it's very important for us going forward. And in relation to the conference, you know, we reach out to a lot of institutions around the region, because it's so important to let the Caribbean know that we can help. As I said, the Caribbean knows science too, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, although it's a first time virtual and usually do in person, it also makes it more accessible to people, not just members of your association, but, you know, people who just have a lot of interest in forensic science. They can find out what's happening.
Exactly. The case.
Okay.
Yes. And the knowledge, I mean, once you want to be a part, you know, you can just be a part of it. You just sign up, you register, and you can be a part. So you don't have to be, as I said, a forensic expert to do that.
And
but just don't walk away thinking you're a forensic expert after you attend.
And what are
no, by attending don't make you a forensic expert. But what that does, it gives you an educational knowledge of what is available to you, you know, as an individual or as an institution or a group, you know, and it educates your members, it educates the public educate the nation, you know, what forensic science is all about. As we say, forensic science is science used for the resolution of legal disputes in the courts of law. So they can't leave us out. So we are there.
Yeah, and then, you know, that brings up, you know, what was going to be my next question, you know, for those who might be interested in attending, you know, what are some of the items on the agenda, or what are you looking forward to, some of those topics which you think people might be interested or particularly the knowledge might be nice to check out?
Well, for example, toxicology, which is lacking in the Caribbean. And I bring that up first, you know, because we have labs, but not most even labs have a toxicology section. So it's amazing. We have toxicology. We have crime scenes, and which is the mecca of forensic science. So crime scene investigation, without that, you don't have a forensic lab, you know, and forensic science all started from the crime scene. So if everything messed up on the crime scene, then the people in the lab cannot work miracles. Yeah. You know, because everything comes from the crime scene to the lab, from the lab to the court. So it's important that the police officers also get that knowledge, you know, and that accessible knowledge. So this is why we have crime scene investigations. We have fire examination, because that also is important. The firemen and firewomen who go out to investigate fire cases, that is important. We have forensic accounting, especially now in the pandemic. And what you have is that people using the online system now to fraud people, etc. And it gets worse now that everything is moving to online. So, you know, so the deception, everything. So we have a forensic accounting session. We also have DNA analysis, which is the mecca to, as everybody know. You know, and we have geographic mapping. You know, that is mapping places like hotspots where crimes occur. Okay. You know, you can use geographic mapping now to actually map out that crime scene, you know, and pick hotspots using geographical locations and so on. A lot of people don't know that this exists, you know. So we have a variety. We try to put in something, let me say, for every profession. You know, we even have one on trafficking, human trafficking. We also have let me see what else I'm missing. I'm not even watching my agenda. I'm just speaking from...
Well, that means those are the ones that you are looking forward to. What about you, Rochelle?
Well, I pay special attention to a lot of the studies, because a lot of the times when people think of forensics, they think of foreign and UK and America. But I'm telling you, Belize and the Caribbean have done so many studies that people don't know about. So this is an opportunity for us to listen to all the things that people like us are doing. You know, it's good to have a technical aspect from America or UK or Canada to assist with investigations. But remember, our culture is unique, our people is unique. So when we have an association and people that are coming together to do tests that are unique to our culture and our people, it's always a better way of encompassing skills and technicalities that will help us to solve crimes. So I'm very excited to see all of the experiments and analysis that people like us are doing. So it's a good event. I would encourage everybody to sign up and attend.
Rochelle.
And just a little on what Rochelle said, you know, she used the key. Listen, she drive the nail right home. You know, and for example, we have created some of our own research too for the first time in our region, because we even have research which is done on firearms, where we use a firearm marking machine to actually mark the bullets. Instead of the gun now, you know, we mark the bullets. So we show the world how the bullets can be marked to control gun crimes. You know, so whenever, let me say, a police officer or a criminal or something go out there, and if you use 20 rounds, that 20 rounds will be unique to you. Okay. So there's a marking, and so you could actually figure out, you know, if your officers are involved in corruption, you know, you give them 20 rounds of ammunition, that 20 rounds can be controlled by a special mark that we actually put. So that will be showcasing that research also, even entomology, using insects to solve crime. by our own Caribbean people, will be presenting those blood spatter analysts. Using blood
to
spatter
solve crimes? That's what you said? Insects to solve crimes?
Yes, yes.
Now you literally just open a whole can of worms there, man. And we have to start to wrap this up. But I mean, what you're saying is that we are doing some exceptional work, and that means, there's a lot that we can find out if we take the time to participate in things like the forum and to keep up to date with what we are doing in the region. Give us the details of the virtual forum and how people can participate.
Okay, so they can, as we said, our flyer is out. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. We have our website, which is www.thefrensic.com, www.cafs.com. You will get all the information is there on our website. Also, and if you see it's all the information that you see, thecafs.com, you will get to sign up. You can get a link up. You see all the social media sites. We're on all the social media sites known, we say, that we can. We are on LinkedIn also, so you can find us on LinkedIn. You just look for the CAFS, and once the CAFS means the Caribbean Association of Forensic Sciences, so you just type in that www.thecafs.com, that's THE.CAFS.com, you will find us. Okay. Once you put that in, you'll find us everywhere. And you can just go on the website, sign up, you could even become a member, and we're encouraging the whole of Belize also. We know Rochelle is our rep, is our Belize rep, to push our association from the Belize side, because we try to get a connection in every country that persons could communicate with, and this is our first step of building the association, so that is tremendous. Yeah, so that's how people can reach us.
All right. And it's tomorrow and Friday and Saturday.
And Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the 16th and 17th, starting, let us say, Jamaica time is 8 o'clock. The Eastern Caribbean time is roughly 9 o'clock. Rochelle, what's your time? That will be 7 o'clock your time?
Yes, it should be 7.
Okay. All right. So early morning, but definitely worth it to learn something new. Thank you both for joining us today and for letting us know what's happening in the Caribbean and about your upcoming forum.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Thank you for having us, Marlene. Have a good day.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, you heard all about it. So if you are interested, you can find them on various places, but you can look up the website if you're interested in taking part in tomorrow and Saturday's virtual forensic science conference.
Right.
But
are you a CSI fan?
Actually, not really.
Oh wow!
But now after hearing them speak, I'm a bit more interested, and especially like when you're talking about the insect thing. I was
gonna say that's like that could have been a teaser for the entire forum. Find out how insects solve crime.
I know, right?
Now I just want to log on to find out. But I'm making a joke of it. But it's such a critical part of our criminal justice system. Being able to use the details of science, the evidence gathered from the scene, to be able to present in court and ensure that justice is served on persons who commit crime. So it's so important that we are able to know what's happening in the region, and we do encourage you, if you have even the slightest interest, to participate as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But of course, we do have to take a break right now. And when we come back, we're going to be speaking with a local clothing designer, and we're going to get to learn all about him and the work that he does. So please stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
If we are only as strong as our families, businesses, institutions, and the communities that surround us, then by giving businesses the power to grow, entrepreneurs the ability to expand, and by giving our families the right to own something, the Belize Bank gives you the power to build a nation, our nation. We are stronger together. The Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Hello? Okay, sure, I'll be there.
Hi, Mommy. When are you coming home? I really miss you.
Hearing the voice of our loved ones can always lift our spirits and make us feel whole again. With Smart's Twice as Nice promotion, prepaid customers who make 5 minutes worth of national calls on Sundays can enjoy 50% off. Top double on all national calls for the rest of the day. Call your loved ones and enjoy half off all day long. Smart, bringing people together.
Working off-site doesn't mean you have to be off your game. Studies have shown that simply adding a keyboard and mouse to your laptop increases productivity by 26%. Add a monitor and you'll be 35% more productive. At Fulltech Systems, we have what you need to enhance your remote work or e-learning experience. With devices such as headsets, video conferencing monitors, webcams, keyboards, mice, docking stations, all with the brands you trust. Keep connected with collaboration tools like Microsoft 365 Suite and Kaspersky and perform efficiently no matter where you are. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Why, Tony?
Why, kid, what you going on, man?
I'm actually going to see because I need to buy a stack of them plastic plates and cups for my grocery shop because I run low.
Boy, I stopped importing that thing since April 15th, you know. And I just ran out to the last batch, must have been like 3 weeks back, you know.
Man, do I usually have anything? What are you going?
Check this, right? Under the new law, we ban all single-use plastics, so that the cups, plates, forks, spoons, and knives, all of that. Since April 15th, you can't import none of them. Starting January 15, 2021, you can't manufacture them. April 15, 2021, you can't sell them. And after July 14, 2021, if you get catch with any other thing, you will get fined.
Me never know this. I guess I have to make some changes then. I have to make the customers know that anything not available. Anyways, bro. Thanks, man.
No problem, man. Take care.
Hello, Belize. You may not be aware of the new travel requirements set in place by the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Passengers traveling to the U.S. must present a negative COVID test or a documentation of having recovered from COVID-19 to travel to the U.S. In light of this, Maya, in partnership with Caring Hands Clinic, have established testing centers in all their municipal airports. Caring Hands Antigen Test Center is operational in San Pedro, Belize City, Dangriga, Placencia, and Hopkins. These testing facilities are staffed by licensed healthcare professionals, including doctors, registered nurses, and nurse practitioners. Testing is done using Abbott Rapid Test devices that are FDA approved and made in the USA. The service is safe, fast, affordable, and the close proximity of the centers makes them convenient. Walk-ins are welcomed, but appointments are encouraged. If you would like to make an appointment, please feel free to do so at
Make your appointment, get tested, and in 15 minutes, you can get back to your vacation.
And we're back.
Yep. And if you're joining us now, we're getting our third conversation for this morning started, and we are talking all about fashion right now. Woo. And we are speaking about an exciting original clothing brand. And joining us to talk all about Emmy brand clothing, we've got Jason and Jessima Godoy, who are CEOs and owners of the brand. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning, guys.
And I'm guessing brothers?
Yes,
okay, good. Just to be clear.
Older brother, younger brother.
Wait, who's older?
I am.
Right. Usually the older ones don't like to claim it, you know. Just saying. But welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for having us. Thank you for having us.
So you guys live in Los Angeles, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about your connection with Belize.
We were born and raised in Belize. Both of us went to primary school, high school, college, everything.
Then we migrated to America, chase opportunities, you know, and then we created our own with our own clothing brand and lifestyle. You know?
Right, so let's talk a little bit about how the clothing brand, how the idea came about, and how did you get actually into making it a reality?
Well, the company Money Art Entertainment started 21 years ago from me and my other brother, Dwayne, who's in Los Angeles right now. And we used to do party promotions and stuff under the name Money Eye. So a year and a half ago, Chuck came up with an idea, wanted to do something with clothing, and we just decided to use the initials for the M and the E, you know, and that's how that idea actually came about.
So it went from promoting to clothing.
Yes. Right.
Interesting. Was that because everything went on halt for COVID, that it was like, okay, we're not going to be doing much events, so...
No, it was just, the idea was born really out of the love, our love for tennis shoes.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's where the idea came from. We always like nice t-shirts with our tennis shoes, but we would go to the mall and walk around and around and can't get exactly what we're looking for.
Okay.
Hence the reason we started, okay, well, if we buy this tennis shoe, we'll match it up real nice, and there you have it. So a lot of the clothing that we make, people actually send me pictures on their tennis shoes or their footwear and say, hey, we want one shirt to match this tennis. And so if,
you know, now that I'm watching you, I see it definitely. Oh, we got a great shout out too. Great.
Yeah, so
that's actually one of
that's one of our little brothers, Kevin over there too.
Okay.
Yeah, so that keeps it interesting, you know, as far as the tennis shoes go, because the tennis shoe game, like they say, is a huge market out in the United States and around the world.
And here.
So, yes, ma'am.
And also, you know, a big part of what we did with this was to just like I said, create opportunity for ourselves and for Belizeans to be proud of something other than the norm that's going around right now, you know. So we just want to show them that we came from the south side of Belize, you know, and migrated to America, stayed out of trouble, and created something that every Belizean could be proud of, because as you can see on all our labels and tags, we represent Belize on it, you know. So
Belize
is the first country on there.
Yes.
You know the big high fashion brands they got made in Italy,
Paris, etc.
Okay, the Emmy brand, this is on all our brands. So whoever wears our shirt, it always had the Emmy.
So it has
tag on it.
Belize,
Los Angeles,
and New York.
And New York.
So yeah, so it sounds like you created the business first from an idea because of something that you wanted for your own self,
right?
And then you saw an opportunity to allow other people to do it, so where other people would have wanted it to satisfy that demand. And so you also you can custom make clothes as well based on you know, people sending in pictures and stuff.
Definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Is there also a drink that I
Yeah, that's that is this shirt right here. It's called well, we got these two shirts right here. We came out with an idea about a month ago, and it was blended colors off the white t-shirt we put the white vinyl on the white T-shirt. That's an original idea from us, and we nicknamed it the Ghost.
Okay.
You know, so we call it the ME Ghost shirt. And from that one idea, these other ideas came. So this is the green on green, which we call the limeade, the Ghost limeade, and this is the yellow on yellow.
I like this yellow on
called
yellow.
the Ghost lemonade.
Yeah.
And then we got the red on red called the Ghost Diablo.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it gets creative with us because it's cool when people would call us to order and stuff.
Orange on orange.
We have on the orange and orange. I don't think we have a name for this. This is actually one of the newest ones.
Okay.
Yes,
on release.
Yes, on release. Yeah. So when people would order, they would, hey, I want a lemonade or I want a limeade. So it's pretty cool, you know.
So you move from T-shirts into everything else. Tell us about that transition. Yeah. I see you have on your
these gators. Yeah. These,
you have some shoes.
Yeah.
You have.
We have some slides. These gators and these slides are actually new releases. The good thing about these slides right here, they're snap on, snap off.
I see. So.
You know.
So you could change it to match.
Yes. So we're gonna be selling. We're gonna be selling straps in the future, where you just gotta buy a slide, and you could change out the strap to match whatever shirt you have on. You know. So and then we make it personal, where you could put your name on it. So if you want a slide for you, you're gonna put Marlene
everybody
there.
loves personalized.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're gonna put Marlene on there, and yeah, it's just different, you know. We're just really trying to set ourselves apart from everybody else. You know,
we actually want to create a brand that people could actually do it for themselves. You know, I mean, a lot of times we buy stuff, but we have to settle for what the designers or whatever make. So our premise or basis for this brand is to just express yourself. That's why we said me, you know, so it represents you, the consumer, you know, so that's basically it.
And you know, talk a little bit about what it's like behind the scenes working with each other. I mean, it sounds like it's a very big family operation.
Right.
So
like your brother. Now, if you're a real Belizean, you call everybody family.
Right. No, well, actually, it's my mom and our mom and dad has 7 kids, you know, 5 boys, 2 girls, and we actually all work together. We're a very close-knit family and stuff. So when we're working and actually making these stuff, it's pretty much fun. So it's just like brother and sister just helping out each other, bouncing ideas off of each other. So it's pretty cool. It's not like work. It's something we could, you know, have fun doing, you know.
At what point did you realize that you had really made the right move in creating your own merchandise? Because you said you started for you. You couldn't get the right colors to match. You started making it for yourself. You have 1, 2 friend or family. When did you realize, okay, guys, we got a great business on our hands?
It was July 4th. We got 2 shirts made at the swap meet, and we didn't tell nobody that we were making the shirts. We came to the barbecue, and me and Chuck had the shirts on, and then everybody start asking like, Yoda, what you have on? What you have on? What you wearing? Right. I want one. So we like, okay, well, we need to wear more shirts. So we continued. When we put out the logo on Instagram, we had comments saying like, man, that logo is really nice. There's something about that NE that stands out. Then the whole team, we have a whole...
That's one with the flag?
Yes, that's with the Belize flag. We released that September 21st. So it's actually the NE set in the Belize flag itself. That was a limited edition release. We're going to release it again coming close to September, limited amounts, you know. So, yeah, but like I was saying, from there, all our friends and team members, everybody wanted a ME shirt, so we just kept building.
And shirts, sweatshirts, sweatpants.
We got bag caps, bucket caps, snapback caps. We got sweat shorts.
We have slides.
We got
and
slides
now. We're
now.
moving
We
into
got
the
gaiters.
gaiters, and when we go back, we will be releasing our socks line.
Your socks?
Yes,
Socks.
ma'am.
Okay.
We want to do something really different with the socks as well, where it's not just gonna be plain white socks or
Okay.
plain black socks with the ME on it. We want to make that a little bit fashionable as well, you know. So we're gonna play with the colors and stuff like that. We play with a lot of colors.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what what has been the response been like since you've been released all of your clothing?
It's been great, especially here in Belize. Like it's the ME brand wave right now. In Belize, you know?
Well, that's what I was gonna ask, because clearly you started this and you were thinking of like being home based in LA.
Yes, ma'am.
And then how did it become so popular here in Belize?
Well,
actually, it became popular for one. The brand is colorful, and people like colors.
I think that, yeah.
Right, and secondly, it's just, I guess it's how we wear our stuff and we make it fashionable. And Belizean people don't know what kind of thing where if this person had to wear this, well, I forget it too, and thing, which is not a bad thing in our case, you know. So from then, just Belizean just stick to it.
You guys are Belizeans too, so your
100%.
indoctrination to style started here. So you knew that yellow on that shirt had to match that yellow on those settings, right?
Yes,
you knew that.
For sure.
And being able to get the product out to Belize, what was that like?
The first product came, I think, when we visited in November. Probably before that, we had people come and they would come see us at the studio where we work at in LA. Hey, I want a ME shirt for Tech Box. I want a ME shirt for Tech Box. So people kept coming. This Easter is 47 of us that came from LA. That's a part of the team. So it's a lot of ME floating around Belize right now.
And what is popular here in Belize?
T-shirts. T-shirts are very popular.
Well, we just recently released the slides, so
hopefully that becomes popular too, because a lot of people wear.
Because we can wear these year round.
Definitely.
Which one of the style of the shirts is most popular in Belize? Or color?
You know what? The ME or original ME is this right here. We just released this style. Our little sister Moesha came up with this specific style. So we doing that. We just try to switch it up every time, so it's just not ME on a t-shirt. Even though we could play with the colors, we still trying to mix it up, especially with these. This lemonade is very, very popular in LA. Yeah, the females really, really responding to that lemonade, so.
Yeah, see, I was actually going to ask about that because, we saw some pictures just now of, some people wearing the clothes, and it's so, you make clothes for men and women too, right?
Yes, sir, and kids as well, We in the process of expanding our female line and our kids line as well. So, in a year and a half, I think this has moved so fast. We're trying to catch up now because we didn't know it was gonna build so fast. So when we go back to LA in a few days, we definitely have our work cut out for us.
What's the cost?
Our basic t-shirts are $25. The most expensive t-shirts is these new ones, which is $30 US.
Okay.
All our prices are in US dollars. Or snapback caps are $35 US. These sweat shorts are $35 US. A full sweatsuit is $100 US. Our slides are $60 US, and that's just because in the United States it's going to be free shipping, handling, tax, and customization, all for $60 US.
Yeah, I can see Gavin. We're going to put Gavin on this side.
Yeah, so.
And you get to personalize it with the color that suits you best.
Definitely. If you like yellow, if you like blue, if you like red, it's your choice, So we give our customers that freedom, We don't want to think for you guys. You guys tell us what you like. Exactly.
That's the best part.
So what is the plan moving forward? I mean, you clearly have had no idea that this would take off the way it did, but I can hear the appreciation that you have. Is it also trying to get it into other parts of the United States? What's the plan from here?
Well, actually, right now, it's been booming. We've been shipping to all 52 states in America, you know. But the next plan moving forward, we actually want to open our first flagship store, you know. So we want to give people a lot of Belizeans live in the LA area, you know, and it's time for us to be proud of something we could build on, you know. So I think a lot of people are looking for us to open our store so they could come by, take pictures, etc., you know.
Yeah.
And
those sweatsuits are great. Look at that.
Yeah. That's how we met. That's called a mixed match.
Yeah?
Yeah, we came out with the mixed match over the winter where we didn't just want a full solid color sweatsuit. So you see that black and white, we inverted it with some black and white ear
I like
maxes.
the black and yellow,
Yeah, you know, and it got the orange in it to match the tennis shoes. So that's basically what, you step out in something like that, there's nobody that's gonna look like you in the streets, you know? You definitely gonna stand out and look different. Yes, ma'am, so that's the whole concept of it.
So how do people get your product?
Well, we take orders. We're only on Instagram. The brand is kind of exclusive, and we love the exclusivity right now. We don't have a website. We'll be working on that, but we're doing the groundwork, finding our market, cutting out our niche in the t-shirt market. So they could reach us on Instagram at moneyeye.me. So it's the word moneyeye.me. That's how they could reach out to us, order. We have shipments coming to Belize. When we go back, we have to set up shipments to Belize where every 3 weeks we're going to be sending shipments to Belize for anyone who wants to order.
All right. And how long does it take to get here?
It depends on the shipping company. I would say 2 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks max. Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, I know you guys are really nervous, so let me just say that. But it's you know, you left Belize, you went looking for opportunity, and look at you back here now, selling your own clothing line. What does it feel like? You said before, you know, you want to show that you can, it doesn't matter where you grow up.
Right.
That you can still create a business and be successful. What does it feel like now?
Right.
Well, for me, it feels really good because I come from the south side of Belize City on Iguana Street, you know, not one of the best neighborhoods in the country. But this is inspiring to the youths in our community to see us leave Belize, go to the United States, never forget about Belize, never forget about Iguana Street, coming back every time to give back, and also to show them like, hey, you could make it out there and you could come back home and still remain humble and be the same person, you know?
And for you?
It's pretty much the same, you know, all about making Belizeans proud and understanding that you always have to remain humble. You know, a lot of people become successful in life and they shun upon where they come from, you know, and we feel like the south side of Belize is a place that needs to be nurtured and cared for in a way to show people that, yo, the ground is fertile, the youth's minds are fertile, and we just have to give them the right encouragement, create the right opportunity for them to blossom and become, you know, productive themselves, you know.
I love that.
And another thing, or when we launch our first store in Belize, it's gonna be right on Iguana Street where we grew up. Like it's gonna be in our community, you know. That's great. So.
And so not only are you showing that you can create your own business, but I love that, you know, that even here people have been able to really gravitate towards your stuff. I was asking you why you think so, but for me, it's like I see colors. And that's one thing in the Caribbean we take for granted. We love colors, and not everybody used to it.
Right.
So I mean, I'm always going for colorful stuff as well.
Right. Wow.
But it's great to hear your story and that, you know, you have been able to grow so much.
Yes, right.
And I know that for viewers at home, should we tell them, Gavin? That there's gonna be a giveaway. All right. So you just found out a whole lot about the company, about how they got started, and we are gonna be giving away some merchandise. Tell us what we're gonna be giving away.
We're gonna be giving away two. We have 2 questions today, and we're gonna be giving away 2 T-shirts.
Okay. Do they get to pick which one? Or do I pick for them?
I mean, yeah, I guess you can pick for them. You can pick for them.
So they'll know. I won't pick anybody's style. They can pick out their shirts. But the key thing is that you know, you gotta remember, go on Facebook. We're giving you some time here. Giveaway alert. Go on Facebook. Open Your Eyes BZ. There's a live stream. You're gonna comment right underneath that, and we're gonna give away 2 prizes today. All right. So pull the phone out. There's the page. How you found it? Open Your Eyes BZ. And get ready for some giveaways.
For sure. So, yeah, you heard it there. And so we are giving away 2 T-shirts. And we said we've got 2 questions, which are?
I gave Shanice the question.
You gave Shanice the question.
Okay,
we're going to do it after the break. Yeah. So
sure, after the break, but no problem. But, you know, guys, thanks for coming in and show us. I really like not only the colors, but I like the idea that you can also customize it. Because everybody wants a one-of-a-kind piece.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's the whole concept behind the brand.
For sure. And of course, we hope, you know, we wish you the best, and we hope that the brand continues to expand.
I didn't ask a very important question. Why Money Eye?
You know what? We were sitting in a room 21 years ago, and we were just brainstorming. And Money Eye came up on the end, and we like, okay, well, we gotta make money, we gotta hustle, we gotta
my eye on that
exactly. So it made sense. We didn't know 21 years later it would come to this, you know. So I guess, you know, that was that. Good name, good plan.
21 years ago.
Yes,
all right.
ma'am.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming in and telling us all about what you're able to accomplish. And of course, we hope that people will find you on Instagram. They'll get their own merchandise, and we look forward to seeing what you're going to come up with next.
And we want to say thank you guys for having us as well.
All right, best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we're going to take that break. When we come back, it's giveaway time, so please stay tuned.
In these challenging times, the one thing that is certain is that the Belize Bank Limited is here for you. There is nothing more important than your health and safety, and we continue to make every effort to make banking safer for you. Our staff is working around the clock to make sure you can do your banking conveniently 24/7 using our mobile banking app and online banking and keeping ATMs up and running. We value your relationship with us and are here to provide the support you need. First responders are also out there 24/7. Thank you, healthcare workers, security forces, firefighters, caregivers. You are all appreciated. Stay safe. We will get through this together. The Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
Hello Belize. You may not be aware of the new travel requirements set in place by the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Passengers traveling to the U.S. must present a negative COVID test or a documentation of having recovered from COVID-19 to travel to the U.S. In light of this, Maya, in partnership with Caring Hands Clinic, have established testing centers in all their municipal airports. Caring Hands Antigen Test Center is operational in San Pedro, Belize City, Dangriga, Placencia, and Hopkins. These testing facilities are staffed by licensed healthcare professionals, including doctors, registered nurses, and nurse practitioners. Testing is done using Abbott Rapid Test devices that are FDA approved and made in the USA. The service is safe, fast, affordable, and the close proximity of the centers makes them convenient. Walk-ins are welcomed, but appointments are encouraged. If you would like to make an appointment, please feel free to do so at
Make your appointment, get tested, and in 15 minutes, you can get back to your vacation.
We're back.
And if you're joining us now, we're just wrapping up our show. Before the break, we did tell you that we're going to be having a giveaway for this morning. We've got the ME or Money I brand show. We had our two CEOs just now. In order to get one of these prizes, you're going to have to answer two questions correctly, one of two questions correctly in order to be eligible.
Those of you at home, this is your final warning. Pull out your phone, your laptop, or get to your desktop. Jump on Facebook, Open Your Eyes BZ if you want to be a part of this giveaway. Or first question, and the winner gets a customized ME shirt.
Yep. And so that question is, what are the names of the CEOs for the ME brand? And of course, that question is right there popping up on the screen. Number two is, what state is the headquarters of ME brand located in?
Winner is first person who comments correctly under or Open Your Eyes live stream. That is officially a go, or producer will let us know who the winner is in just a few. But again, those two questions are, what are the names of the CEOs for the ME brand? And that's one giveaway. The other giveaway is for what state is the headquarters for the ME brand located? So we're going to find out who the winner is in just a few, but we do want to let you know, you should probably check. Oh, do we have a winner? All right, we got a winner already.
All right.
So we're going to get that up on Sean Lord. You are the winner of the first giveaway, and the other winner is J-Lo Roches.
All right.
All right.
So, guys, your winners, you can come to our studio at Channel 5, and you can come pick up your shirts with your ID. Very important. But, you know, congrats to the winners. I'm a bit jealous because, of course, I want one of them too. So,
what's your favorite color from the pick here?
I'm really liking the green.
You like the green?
Yeah.
I'm all about that yellow, but that just always grabs my eye. But I do love some of the inverted colors, like the black and the blue, the black and the yellow. But you know, that's the purpose, that you get to personalize it to your own style. Congratulations to two Belizean entrepreneurs who joined us today. Mm-hmm. Thank you to you who tuned in. We got to get going. Of course, there's the Commission of Inquiry coming up live at 9 a.m. And it is a continued investigation into the sale of government assets. So please be sure to tune in tonight at 6 p.m. for a full update on that.
Yeah, absolutely. But we do have to close our show. So we want to say thank you one more time to all of our guests who came in. We had, of course, at the beginning of the show, we had some parents talking about their views about the reopening of schools. And then we spoke about the virtual forensic science conference, which is taking place tomorrow and Saturday. So thanks to everyone who came in. And of course, the CEOs of ME brand clothing as well.
So we're going to go ahead and remember, if you want to contact us, send us an email at oie@channel5belize.com.
You can find us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ and on Instagram at OIEBelize.
And remember to tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 when you open your eyes.
Start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your heart open.
We'll see you soon. Enjoy your day.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.